Hello everyone, welcome back to Electromass Hub and welcome to this video. This video will be a great video and I hope everyone is having a great, amazing, beautiful, fantastic day full of mindful. Okay, today we're gonna start with a lesson which is factorization for quadratic equations. We're gonna talk about how to factorize in many ways, in many methods with lots of tricks, lots of tips, and lots of tricks. And we're gonna have so much fun. And the first half of the video, I'm gonna just explaining how to factorize in different methods and with special cases. And the other half of the video, we're gonna have 20 questions, very challengeable, very advanced, full also of tricks and tips. So stay up there because I'm gonna need your help to share your answers with me because I cannot do this alone. So grab your notebook, your pen, and a glass of water, maybe some snacks, and let's take a good deep breath and let's start. Factoring a quadratic equations means rewriting it as a product of two simpler expressions. Like, let's first write the quadratic equation in its standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the standard form that we want to construct if we saw an equation and if we wondered if we can factor it. Okay? So we need to factorize this into two simple expressions. Can be two brackets and can be more and can be less. Okay, so over here, let's say that the factors for a plus the factors for c will give us, for example, ex plus r and fx plus plus n. Okay, these are the simple expressions that we want to usually see when we factor quadratic equation. And in order to check our answer, we need to multiply them back and check if they are matching. It's a critical skill for solving equations, simplifying expressions, and understanding algebra on a deeper level. Alright, let's get into the methods. Each of these approaches is powerful, and together they will give you everything you need to factor any quadratic equation. Simple factorization is when a is equal to 1. Let's take an example. If we have x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. When the coefficient for x squared, which is a is equal to 1 life sample, algebra sample, math sample, you just need to find out two numbers that multiply to c, which is a constant term, and add up to b, the middle term. Let's solve it one step by step. So first, find two numbers that multiply to 10 and add up to 7, which is 5 and 2. First, let's find the factors for 10, which is 10 and 1 or 5 and 2. And now we need to know which two of them will add up to 7. 10 plus 1 is equal to 11 and 5 plus 2 will give us 7. So our only option is 5 and 2. So by this, we're gonna have x plus 5 and x plus 2 equal to 0. Now we are going to have to find the x. Since they are equal to 0, then this means that either of these two brackets are equal to 0 or both of them. Either of the cases, we're gonna find both of them. So first, we're gonna have x plus 5 is equal to 0 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. From here, you can conclude that x is equal to negative 5, and from here, you can find that x is equal to negative 2. By that, we are done with the first method. Method number 2, factorization by grouping. Might sound difficult, or if you saw it before, you may be think that it is difficult, but actually, we can make it super systematic and super easy for us. All we have to do to construct the steps. Let's take an example. 6x squared plus 11x plus 4 is equal to 0, where a in this case is not equal to 1. Thing is, it can get a little trickier. The AC method that I'm gonna teach you today will make it super manageable. Here is how it works. First, we gonna multiply A and C. Let's call this F. Next, we need to find two numbers that multiply to F and add up to B. This is B in the standard form. So again, we need to find two numbers that multiply to F and add up to B. So let's apply this in the equation that A is equal to 6 and C is equal to 4. So basically 6 times 4 is equal to 24. We need to figure out the two numbers that multiply to 24 and at the same times add up to B. So over here we are having F is equal to 24 and B from the equation is equal to 11. Which number are these? It's very obvious actually, which is 8 and 3. We're gonna rewrite the equation as 6x squared plus these two numbers as coefficients for x. So 8x plus 3x, and guess what? 8x plus 3x is equal to 11x. Plus what? Plus 4 is equal to 0. Is 6x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 4, close your bracket, equal to 0. Next, we're gonna factor each bracket. And we need something from here. Next step is very critical because it will define for us another new common factor. Let's factorize each one of them, okay? So the greatest common factor from the first bracket is what? Is 2x. So we're gonna have over here 2x times 3x plus 4 plus, what is the greatest common factor in the second bracket? Just 1 times 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Since we have the same bracket, so now the greatest common factor that we can see now is the bracket itself. So we can say that 3x plus 4 times what and what? These and this. Okay, so we took 3x plus 4 times 2x plus 1. So the greatest common factor that we can see over here is the bracket. And this is what is meant by factoring by grouping. Okay, next we gonna find what each x is equal to. So let's find the roots for the equation. Next we're gonna find the root for the equation. From the first bracket we're gonna have 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. So we can conclude that 3x is equal to negative 4. So our first x is negative 4 over 3. Okay, from the second bracket, we're gonna have 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So from here, we can say that 2x is equal to negative 1. So x is equal to negative 1 over 2. Let's call this not a method, but a special case when we have two perfect squares separated by a minus sign, not a plus sign. So the first condition that we're gonna have over here, it's a minus sign. This is not applied on plus sign because actually when we have x squared plus y squared, this is not factorable, and even if it has factorable, it's not real number. So let's forget about this right now. We are gonna focus on our example, which is x squared minus y squared is equal to 0. This is called two perfect square. Let's take an example with numbers. If x squared minus 25 is equal to 0, how to factorize this? So let's use the basic way so we understand where it is came from. So let's write this in a standard form. this will become x squared minus the coefficient for x is 0. So we're gonna have 0x minus 25 is equal to 0. Now let's again think about it with the basic standard way. So which two numbers, if we multiply them, will give us 25, okay? Negative 25, but if we also add them, will give us 0. And since 25 is a perfect square, so we need the same two numbers with different sign, which is 5 and minus negative 5. Basically, we're gonna have x minus 5 and x plus 5 is equal to 0. From here, we can find that the root for x is equal to x plus or minus 5. Let's add another example over here. 9x squared minus 16 is equal to 0. Again, solve it with the standard way and then apply the methods that we noted now, okay? Again, solve it with the standard way, then apply it with the methods that we know now, okay? But I'm gonna solve it with the methods that I just did. So we're gonna have over here the square for 9 is 3x, okay? Minus 4 and 3x plus 4, okay? Equal to 0, okay? So over here, the root for this, we are gonna have 3x minus 4 is equal to 0 and 3x plus 4 is equal to 0, which is from here, we're gonna have 3x is equal to negative 4, positive 4 over 3 over here, and over here is 3. So x is equal to 4 over 3, and from here we're gonna have x is equal to negative 4 over 3. So the roots for x will be equal positive or minus 4 over 3, and that's it. Next method is perfect square trinomial of a square 2ab b square. And this came from a plus b, all of that square. X squared plus 6x plus 9. The perfect square that we're having is 9 and x squared. If we break 9 into its root, we're gonna have 3 and 3. We're gonna have x plus 3 times x plus 3 is equal to 0. You can write this into x plus 3 squared equal to 0. You need to recognize the pattern of the equation. And always I give my student an advice, which is recognize the question or the equation before you start doing it. Acknowledge the question, acknowledge the equation first, because it might be super simple and super easy. And that's it for most of the methods that everyone should know in order to factor any quadratic equation. It's very simple, and any method, even if you don't like what I said today, you can construct a system for yourself when you solve a question or an equation. Now, it's your turn. Let's test your skills with a 20 question challenge. These range from easy to advanced, and I'm gonna start with the trickiest one. So I don't want you to get used, and when you see something weird, then it must be difficult or something, okay? And if anyone, before going through the question, have any question, any discussion, just leave it in the comment below. And if anyone want to check his or her answer, leave your answer in the comment below, and I will absolutely get back to you immediately. Let's start with the first question. After every question, try to pause the video, try to solve the question, and check your answer and steps with me. Maybe you have better steps, so let's share it all together. First, we're gonna find the greatest common factor. 5 is common between the two terms. Next, we have x squared and x power 3. So the smaller one is the greatest common factor over here. So next, we're gonna have x squared. We have then y power 3 and y power 2. The smaller one will be the one is the greatest common factor. So over here, we're gonna have y squared. Open your bracket. So in order to find each one, this is an extra lesson, by the way. If we have 5x squared y power 3, divide this by 5x squared. Sorry, this is y power 3. Divide this by 5x squared and y power 2. 5, cancel 5. X squared, cancel out the x squared. Y power 3 minus, so y power 3 minus the 2 is equal to y. So over here, for the first one, you're gonna have y. We're gonna do the same thing for the second one. We're gonna have 15x power 3 y squared over 5x squared y power 2. Divided by 5, 3. Divided by 5, 1. X power 3 over x power 2 is just x. And y power 2 cancel out y power 2, so we're gonna have over here 3x, and that's it. If you have this answer, very good job, and if you didn't, very good job for trying. Share your answer so we all know how you did it and we discuss your answer. Next, if we have b squared minus 36. Now take your moment, solve the question and get back over here. This will be what? It's very obvious that this is the perfect square. So we're gonna have over here p minus 6 times p plus 6. That's it. Next, if we have 4a power 3 minus 49a. Now take your moment. First, we're gonna find the greatest common factor, which is a. So the first term, we're gonna have 4a squared minus 49. So we're gonna have a over here multiplied by 2a plus 7 times 2a minus 7. Next, if we have a plus b squared minus 100. Is there any reason to say that this is not a perfect square? Of course it is a perfect square. So we are gonna have big bracket. We're gonna have over here a plus b minus 10. Close the bracket. Second bracket, we're gonna have a small bracket. A plus b minus plus 10. That's it. Take your moment now, and I'm gonna show you another way when you have a complex thing like this. When you have a bracket in the quadratic equation that you're supposed to factorize it into brackets, let's have any variable, let's call m. Whatever inside this bracket, say that m is equal to x minus y, and substitute for whatever inside this bracket. So we're gonna have over here 9 minus x minus y. Substitute now m squared. This will become a perfect good looking square. 3 plus m, 3 minus m, which is equal to, now we're gonna put back the x and y. We're gonna have over here 3 plus, open bracket, x minus y, close your bracket, close your bigger bracket. Then we're gonna have over here 3 minus, open your bracket, x minus y, close your bracket. Question number 6. T power 4 minus 64. Still a perfect square. And there is two ways to do it. The normal way, we're gonna have over here t squared minus 8 and t squared plus 8. Another thing, we can use the substitutes, just we did in question number 5. So consider that the t squared, let's call it m. Okay, so we're gonna have over here t power 4 is equal to m squared. So we can rewrite the question as m squared minus 64, which is equal to m minus 8 and m plus 8. Put back the t, hn is equal to t squared. So we're gonna write over here t squared minus 8, and in the second bracket t squared plus 8. Substitute is magic. Question number 7. first step. If it is not in the standard form, write it in the standard form from the highest power to the lowest power. So we are having over here x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okay, what is two numbers that multiply each other will give us negative 10, but if we add them, it is positive 3, which is 5 and 2. But which one is the negative and which one is the positive? We have positive 3. Since we have negative over here, but we get positive over here, so since we have two factors, the bigger in them will take the positive, since this one is positive. But if it was negative, the bigger in them will have the highest effect, so this will take the negative. But in this case, we have 5 and 2. 5 is bigger than 2, so 5 will be positive, since it is positive, because it has a higher effect. And over here, we're gonna have negative 2. Let's try. So we're gonna have over here x plus 5 and x minus 2. You can check back your answer. If you have any doubts, always check your answer. Okay? 5 times negative 2, negative 10, x squared plus 5x minus 2x will be equal to, from here, it is 3x, positive 3x. We are 100% correct. We are on the right track. Question number 8. Let's say we have 6a squared minus 7a minus 10. Take your moment now, and I will start solving. So our coefficients, a is equal to 6, b is equal to negative 7, and c is equal to negative 10. Here, I'm gonna solve it by factor by grouping. So the first step, we need to find two numbers that multiply to a times c. So if you remember the steps, we first gonna multiply a and c. So we're gonna have negative 60. This is the first step. What is the second step? Find the two numbers that multiply to negative 60. Okay, but also add up to b, which is negative 7. I think it's a little bit obvious, which is 5 and 12. Now let's see which one has the negative 5 or negative 12. So since we have negative 7, so the higher number will be the negative. Okay, so we're gonna have over here negative 12 and 5. So we can write them in the form of 6a squared minus 12a plus 5a minus 10. Next, we're gonna group the terms together. So we're gonna have over here 6a squared minus 12a. This is our first group. Second, we're gonna have 5a minus 10. Then we're gonna find the greatest common factor for each group. From the first group, what do we have? What is the greatest common factor over here? Obviously, it is 6a. Okay, so 6a. From here, we're gonna have a minus 2 plus. From the second group, we have 5a minus 10. What is the greatest common factor? Just 5. So a minus 2. And as magic as it is, what do we have over here? The same group. So this is how it works. So we're gonna take this bracket as a common factor, a minus 2, okay? And then multiply by 6a plus 5. And that's it. Done. X power 3 plus 8x squared minus x minus 8. Take your moment now, and we're gonna solve this also by grouping, okay? But it's already grouped over here. So let's see how we can do such a thing. So over here, we're gonna split this into two groups. First one, we're gonna have x power 3 plus 8 x squared plus negative x minus 8. From the first bracket, we're gonna have the greatest common factor, which is x squared, and we can say we're gonna have x plus 8 plus negative x minus 8. We have two choices over here. Either to take negative x squared as a common factor from the first one, or factorize the next one and take negative 1 as a common factor, which is we're gonna have over here x squared, x plus 8 minus 1 times x plus 8. And the magic thing happened right now. The same bracket we have. So we have x plus 8, the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor over here is x plus 8. Next, we're gonna take this as a common factor, x plus 8, and then we're gonna put the others into the bracket. We're gonna have x power 2 minus 1. From here, we have a perfect square, x squared minus 1. So this will become x plus 8 multiplied by, let's factorize x power 2 minus 1. It's a perfect square. We're gonna have x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. So x plus 1, close bracket, open bracket, x minus 1. Which is totally makes sense because over here we have power to 3. This is a good question. And do not worry, do not feel anything weird or bad or sad if you didn't get this question. Okay? Just when you see questions like this, take your time to analyze it first. Question number 11. Now take your moment and let's solve it. First step, we're gonna rearrange the equation into its standard form. So you can choose this or this first, and that's okay. So we're gonna have 25 x squared minus 20xy plus 4y squared. Second step, we're gonna recognize the structure of a perfect square trinomial. So let's see what do we have over here. So 25x squared, 25x squared is a perfect square for 5x and 5x. And 4y squared is also perfect square for 2x and 2x. Okay, and if you remember, if we have 2ab in the middle of the perfect square trinomial, this will become 2 times 2x times 5x. This will give us 20x. Everything so far is perfect, correct, and stable. But we have a negative over here. We can add something very simple over here, negative 2x times negative 2x. And that's it. We're gonna have two brackets, 5x minus 2y, all of this squared. And that's it. Question number 12 is 4x squared plus 1 minus 4x. And of course, take your moment now, and I will start solving. First step, of course, is write the equation in its standard form. So we're gonna have over here 4x minus 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So let's start by breaking up the factors. So 4x squared, its factor is 2x and 2x, and 1 will be negative 1 and negative 1 because we are having negative over here. Let's check if the middle term, negative 4x, is twice the product of this square root. So we're gonna do 2 times negative 1 times 2x, and it gives us perfect negative 4x. So we're gonna have over here x, 2x minus 1, all of this squared. And that's it. Now let's slow down a little bit. We talk a lot of advanced question with lots of tricks. So let's take something normal. We're gonna have over here x squared minus plus x minus 2. Okay, so the factors for negative 2 will be nothing other than 2 and negative 1. I decided 2 and the negative 1 since we are having over here negative, so we're gonna have different sign, positive and negative. And since we are having over here positive, so the higher effect will be the greater number, which is 2. So 2 will have the positive sign. So the answer will be x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. Let's take number 14. If we are having x squared minus 13xy plus 42y squared. This is very straightforward question. Now take your moment. So let's figure out the factors for each one here. So for 42, we are gonna have 7 and 6. Since the sign is positive, then both of them will be negative, okay? And also you can add over here, you can say 42y squared, and its factors is negative 7y and negative 6y. So over here we are having x minus 7y and multiply by x minus 6y. And that's it for question number 14. Question number 15, 12 x squared minus 4x minus 5. Okay, let's see. So the factors for 5 is 5 and 1. The factors for 12 will be 6 and 2. We have lots of options for 12, and if you tried 4 and 3, 12 and 1, take into your consideration that these numbers will be multiplied by these number, so we don't want a huge difference between the product of 2. Okay, so let me show you over here. If we pick 3 and 4, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus or plus 4 will never give us negative 4 in the middle. Over here, we also need to decide which one is negative and which one is positive. So we are having 6 and 2 with 5 and 1. Let's decide which 2 we're gonna multiply together and which also we're gonna add negative to it. So if we have 6 times 1, that will give us 6, and 5 times 2, that will give us 10. Okay, 10 minus 6 will be 4. Okay, but we need the result to be negative 4. So we need the negative to be in the 10. Okay, and since we are having over here negative 5, so one of these will have negative. So it's better to be negative 5. So the negative 5 will be also here, and this will result in a perfect factorization. So let's write our brackets. So we're gonna have over here x. So we are gonna have over here x minus 5. 2x will be in front of negative 5, and we are gonna have plus 1, and over here we are gonna have 6x. Let's check our answer. So 1 times 6x is 6x. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Negative 10x plus 6x will give us negative 4x. And of course, negative 5 times 1 will give us negative 5. 2x times 6x will give us 12x squared. And that's it. Question number 16. We are having 9x minus 27xy plus 20y squared. Over here, we are gonna do factorization by grouping. So as the first step, as we know, we're gonna multiply A and C. A and C in this case is 9 times positive 20, which is equal to 180. We're gonna find two numbers that multiply to 180, but their adding will be our b, which is negative 27. To clear this up for you, or to make it a little bit simpler or easier, do not let the sign confuse you. The result for multiplication is positive over here. Since the result for multiplication is positive, so we need two negative numbers. Okay, so don't bother yourself with the sign. Okay, what is the two numbers that we can add up to negative 27 or 27 for now? We need something between 10 and 20. So if we multiply them, we can get 180. So over here, we can say it is 15 and 12. So let's rewrite the equation. By the way, this is square. 9x squared minus 15xy minus 12xy plus 20y squared. Now let's split the middle term. We're gonna have over here in the first bracket 9x squared minus 15xy minus 12xy plus 20y squared. Then we're gonna find the greatest common factor for each group. From the first group, we are having 3x as the greatest common factor. So 3x multiplied by 3x minus 5y minus the greatest common factor from the second group, we are having 4y multiplied by 3x minus 5y. And we're gonna take the bracket as the greatest common factor right now. So we're gonna have over here 3x minus 5y, close the bracket, multiply by 3x minus 4y. So what did I do so far? I take this as a common factor from the first term and the second term, and I put 3x minus 4y in our second group. And by that, we finish the question number 16. Question number 17. Step 1, we're gonna find the greatest common factor, which is x. So we are having over here 4x squared minus 25x plus 6. Step 2, let's focus on the quadratic equations that we're gonna have now inside the bracket. We're gonna have a is equal to 4, b is equal to negative 25, and c is equal to 6. So we're gonna factorize by grouping, and the first step is a times c is equal to 4 times 6, which is equal to 24. And now we need to figure out which two numbers, if we multiply them together, will give us 24, but if we add them together, will give us b, which is negative 25. It's very clear, a little bit. So, which is 24 and 1. So we're gonna have over here 24 and 1, and over here we're gonna have also 24 and 1, except with a little twist, we are having a negative 25, so a negative 24 plus negative 1, and the negative 24 multiplied by negative 1 will also give us 24 and the negative 25. So let's do this. We're gonna have 4x squared minus 24x minus 6 plus 6. Now we're gonna put them into two groups. We are gonna have x over here, and the first group will be 4x squared minus 24x. We're gonna take the negative as a common factor from x and positive 6, so we're gonna have over here x minus 6, close this bracket, close the bigger bracket, and then let's find the greatest common factor from the first bracket. We are gonna have over here what is the greatest common factor over here is just 4x. So we are having now x open bracket, 4x multiplied by x minus 6 minus, over here we have 1, x minus 6, and close your bracket, and this will lead us to x minus 6 is the greatest common factor that we have over here. Okay, so we are having over here x multiplied by x minus 6, and by combining 4x and negative 1, we are gonna have multiply by 4x minus the 1. Okay, and by that we factorize this by grouping. Next, question number 18. I think this equation can be simplified by taking the greatest common factor and divide all of them by this common factor. So we're gonna divide this equation by 2. We end with 25x squared plus 5x minus 6. Perfect. So we are having A as 25, B as 5, and C as negative 6. So let's again factorize by grouping. So we're gonna have A multiplied by C will be 25 times negative 6, which is negative 150. Now we need to figure out the two numbers. If we multiply them together, will give us negative 150, but if we add them, will give us the b's that we have in the equation, which is 5. It's very simple. If you take a look and analyze it slowly and easy, you will get it. 15 and 10, okay? So we're gonna have over here 15 and 10, and we need to figure out which one will take the negative, okay? So if the result of adding is 5, which is positive 5, so the bigger number will be also positive. So we're gonna have over here 15 plus negative 10, and 15 multiplied by negative 10. Perfect. So we're gonna have over here 25 x squared plus 15x minus 10x minus 6. Next, let's put them in groups. So this is our first group, and so we are gonna have over here 25x squared plus 15x, and from second group we can take the negative 1 as a common factor. So we can say negative outside, and inside we're gonna have 10x plus 6, like that. Now let's figure out the common factor from each of them. So from the first one, we can say that we have 5x. So 5x, 25x squared minus 5x is 5x, plus 15x divided by 5x is just 3, minus, what is the common factor between 10x and 6, which is 2, open bracket, 5x plus 3. And that's it. We have 5x plus 3 as a common factor over here between this and this. And now we are having 5x plus 3 as a common factor. So we can say we are having 5x plus 3 multiplied by 5 minus 2. So 5 minus 2. 5x, sorry. 5x minus 2. Question number 19 is 25x squared minus 15x minus 18. Again, let's factor by grouping. We have A is 25, B is negative 15, and C is negative 18. So now we need to multiply A and C, which is 25 times negative 18, which will give us negative 450. Okay, now we need two numbers multiplied by each other will give us negative 450, but if we add them, will give us our b, which is negative 15. Okay, the numbers might confuse you or might look hard. Okay, let's look at them carefully. We have 450 and 15. Both of them has factors of 15, so we can say we are having 30 and 15. So I know you will not get this number immediately in your mind, but just take a moment and you will get it. I'm not saying that it is easy, but also it's not hard to get it. Just slow down, give yourself a moment and take a look at the question. Step by step you will get them, and by practice, of course. So we can say over here we are having negative 30 times 15. And the negative 30 plus 15. Next, we're gonna put them into the equation. So we're gonna have over here 25 x squared minus 30x plus 15x minus 18. Now let's put them into groups. We're gonna have over here 25x squared minus 30x plus 15x minus 18. Now let's find the greatest common factor for each bracket. So now we are having 5x multiplied by 5x minus 6 plus, over here our greatest common factor is 3. So we're gonna take 3. 15x divided by 3 is 5x, 18 divided by 3 is 6, which is the same common factor. So we are gonna have over here 5x minus 6 as the greatest common factor multiplied by 5x plus 3. And that's it. Perfectly done. So I'm gonna break down the pattern for grouping, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of mercy. So with a twist, I'm gonna give you mercy with a little bit of twist. So question number 20 and the last question in this video, and whoever stayed to the question number 20, good job, well done, be proud of yourself, I am proud of you. So let's assume we are having over here x squared minus 1 over 81. A little hint, it's a little bit easy. So 1 over 81, what is the factors for it? 1 over 9 and 1 over 9. So we are gonna have over here x minus 1 over 9 multiplied by plus x plus 1 over 9. Wow, that was very intense and exciting journey through factorization. We tackled 20 challenging questions step by step, and I hope you feel much more confident with these methods now and with those tricks and tips that we learned today. Remember, practice is the key to mastering factorization, so keep challenging yourself with even more problems. If you enjoyed this video solving this with me, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends who might find it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Let me know which method you enjoyed the most, which question you find it more enjoyable or easier, or you struggle the most with it. And if you have any question or any doubts or anything about any of the question or what did I say today, okay? And give me your suggestion if there is a topic you would like me to cover next. Before I wrap up, I want to take a moment to thank someone very special to me, my mom. You are unwavering support, means a world to me, from cheering me on, leaving the sweetest comment, the sweetest first comment on my channel. You remind me every day why I started this journey. I couldn't do this without you, and I love you so much. And to everyone watching this, having support, no matter how small it seems, makes a huge difference. So let's celebrate those who believed in us. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Keep practicing and keep sharing. Thank you so much. Please have a good, amazing, beautiful day and be proud of yourself.